let's read and react. We're going to start in Chicago, where new coach Ben Johnson will try to turn things around for Caleb Williams. This is really interesting. ESPN reporter Seth Wickersham goes inside Williams' rookie season in his new book, American Kings, a biography of the quarterback, including this detail. At times, Williams said he would watch film alone with no instruction or guidance from the coaches. Quote, "No one tells me what to watch," Caleb Williams told his dad. "I just turn it on." There's a lot more to this. You should check out Wickersham's article and book. But Mina, where do things go from here for Caleb?
Hopefully ups. Feels like the only direction they can go after last season's disaster. Seth's article is excellent, by the way. Everybody should go check it out. What is portrayed here, which is quarterback who felt alone and like he didn't get the proper development and circumstances around him and support, is what we saw on the field, Laura, which is why it checks out. Going into the season, there's hope that you bring in Ben Johnson, who's an excellent play caller, improvements on the offensive line. They added skill players in the draft. He'll be in a better situation. But I think the mental side of it is what that quote drives home, and that might be the most important thing.
Yeah, the detail and the stories in this book are amazing. If you want to check it out, it's about going from being a quarterback from high school to the NFL. The book American Kings, the biography of the quarterback, comes out in September. All right, let's go to Baltimore, where it'll be tough sledding to start this 2025 season. Their first 6 opponents combined for a .647 winning percentage in 2024, second hardest in the NFL, behind only the Browns. 5 of Baltimore's first 6 opponents made the playoffs last year. The lone exception is the Browns in week 2. After that rough stretch, the Ravens get a well-deserved rest during their bye week in week 7. RC, how do you see the Ravens' start to the season shaping out?
I mean, listen, the Ravens are going to start this season as they always do in the regular season. I believe that they'll still be dominant. We mostly pick apart or critique the Ravens for the way that they win during the season. Think back to 2 years ago, where they had all of these big games against division-leading opponents as Lamar Jackson was on his way to a second MVP, and there were dominant performances against the Detroit Lions, dominant performances on Monday Night Football against the San Francisco 49ers. Derrick Henry is back. Lamar Jackson will return to the MVP form that we saw him play at throughout most of his career, and his defense gets its second year under their defensive coordinator. I mean, rough times, tough times, all the times, Ravens gonna win 5 of those 6 games.
Woo, all right, I like it, I agree. Let's talk about the Patriots, okay? In New England, Mike Vrabel, this era begins with one of the easier strength of schedules. That's a nice gift when that happens. The Patriots are set up for some success this year. Their opponents had a .429 winning percentage last season. That's the lowest of any AFC team and the 3rd lowest in the NFL, trailing only the 49ers and Saints. Shefty, when you look at the Patriots' schedule, what are you watching for specifically?
Well, when we look at it, Laura, last year, the Patriots were not favored in a single game all year long. This year, they're expected to be favored in 10 or 11 games. So that is quite a turn of events in New England, and it portends to the type of season that the Patriots are capable of having under Mike Vrabel. There could be a dramatic turnaround there, the way there was in Denver and in Washington last season, with Mike Vrabel leading the way and this team being favored as often as it is with one of the easiest strength of schedules in the entire National Football League.
Yeah, you saw the flashes from Drake May, too. They're close in a lot of ways, especially if they can protect him. Adam, stay out of the ground right now. Some more news out of New England today. What's the latest on Christian Barmore?
He missed most of last season due to blood clots, Laura, and today he said that he's been cleared for all football activity. So think of all the moves that the Patriots made during the offseason. Now you get back a tremendous young defensive lineman with great news about his own personal health, with him now being able to play and to be a factor for the upcoming season after he could not play for most of all of last season.
Yeah, it's wonderful to hear for him and also for the Patriots. I think there are probably some people that forgot about him. Great news from Adam. 49ers, you guys, they had a nightmare year in 2024 where they finished last in the NFC West for the first time since 2020. But that got San Fran an easy schedule this year. Their opponents had a combined .415 winning percentage in 2024. That's the easiest schedule in the NFL. Just 4 of their 2025 opponents even made the playoffs last year. And I realize there's no actual easy schedule in the NFL, right? All these games are extremely difficult. But, Adam, are the 49ers trending in the right direction with a schedule like this?
I don't know about that. I would say that the schedule shapes up the right way for this team to try to get back on track coming off a 6-11 season. Keep that in mind. 6-11 last year, and then go out and lose any number of players in free agency and through injury. You have Dre Greenlaw signed with Denver. Talanoa Hufanga, the safety, signed with Denver. The safety that was supposed to replace Hufanga in Denver, Malik Mustafa, wound up tearing his ACL in the regular season finale. The injury didn't come out until right after the draft, and he's going to have a hard time starting the season. They lost a number of defensive linemen. This team lost a lot more talent than people realize. And yes, the schedule is favorable and easier, but there are many losses that this team has to overcome this season.
Yeah. Adam's absolutely right about some of those losses of free agents, how that's going to impact them. One would hope that they're healthier than they were last year. They were the most injured team in football, according to FTN Fantasy's adjusted games lost. So you got to think they're not going to have that kind of luck again. I think there's going to be aspects that are better and aspects that are worse. Let's start with the better. Those players coming back, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, even without them, this was still at least a productive offense. I do think they'll be better, though I have concerns about the offensive line. I think the run defense is going to be better, by the way. It was the emphasis of theirs in the draft, bringing in Michael Williams, Alfred Collins. So that, I would say, would look to improve under Robert Saleh, who comes back. I have questions about the pass rush, though, and they need a lot of these young players to step up, pardon me. Whether or not they can do so, I think, is going to be the difference between whether or not they can make the playoffs or not.
Right, and what Mina's saying, too, lends to the fact that this is a very different team from what we've seen of the San Francisco 49ers during this one run where they were perennial championship contenders. And so they're going to have to find different ways to win. Kyle Shanahan is going to have to manipulate offense in some